My name is Sanzida Habib. I moved in 1999, September. It was isolating, not knowing anyone. Speaking English was quite difficult. Written English is what I was comfortable with, but when it comes to speaking in English and accent and all those things, cultural differences, it's overwhelming. Mental health challenges, yes, absolutely. The challenges of dealing everything by yourself, like from finding a daycare and taking your child to the daycare, taking care of the household needs, and then being a student or work, juggling with all those things. It took a toll on my mental health, honestly. Yeah, and when I had my second baby, I felt it even more, and it was good that it had a name. So I was suffering from postpartum depression, and I started taking medication for that. I don't want to go back where I was. I have been suffering from chronic depression, but the medication has helped me enormously. And the job that I'm doing, my occupation right now, and my network, everything played a role. It's not just medication, because I am passionate about what I'm doing. So having a good job, having enough income, and having the support system, having a community is key to mental health. So everything together, it is an intersecting dynamic. In Bangladesh, people depend on informal network, informal system. People depend on social capital. Who are your relatives? Who is your community is very important. But when I came here, I realized that the state is providing most of the services, support services, like, healthcare. In Bangladesh, healthcare is public, like free, if you go to the hospital. But if you don't know a doctor there, if you don't have your connections and network there, you're not going to get the best treatment or facilities, because that's how it works there. It's not necessarily a good thing. It's good here that it doesn't matter who you are, like as long as you have the health insurance, you go and you get pretty much the same service. I not only believe that, I have found evidence for that. Immigration factor, migration, has only been recently recognized as a social determinant of health, because it does play a huge role in impacting mental health. I will only speak about Bangladeshi culture as I experienced it, but the stigma is definitely, I found there is greater stigma in my culture. When we talk about culture, it's a mix of many other things we have to remember, right? So it depends on which social class, which educational group you are talking, like, people that are highly educated may have more understanding than people living in a rural area. So we have to take it with a grain of salt all the time whenever we're talking about culture, not stereotyping, right? But in general, there is greater stigma about mental health. Physical health has always been prioritized over mental health. People dealing with mental health have been perceived as weaker in all cultures. All cultures. I have been here in 20 years. Sorry, for 20 years. And it is only in recent years, probably in the last 10 years, that I have been noticing this difference, that there is more awareness about mental health. Taking care of mental health from a holistic perspective, not just medication or not just counseling or not just exercise. Try to do everything. And then when you are feeling better, you will be able to be a better advocate for yourself. Having a job that is appropriate to their qualifications, right, is a huge, huge problem. And it's not an individual problem, it's a systemic problem in Canada that we are trying to raise our voice about, right? It's not my fault. if someone thinks that I'm overqualified for a job that I have applied for, it's not my problem. It's how the system works. And that is a huge part of mental health, like not having the financial ability. And, when you lose your status, you don't know yourself, who you are. And that can be challenging for your mental health as well. So we have to address it from a holistic perspective.